So this is the page that we are going to create. This is the landing page for the food recipe website, and we have the CTA buttons. When we scroll over it, we have this carousel. When we go below, we have our recipes, and you could see that we have something where we have this meta tags, I guess, if that's the right word, or just small details. And this one, it is dependent on whether you buy Elementor Pro or not. And if you buy the Elementor Pro, please use the link in description, that way you could support me. And if you want to have this section, then you will need to use Elementor Pro, or you will need to know how to code it. And let's get started. And also before that, let me just show you guys what we are making. It's a pretty simple site, but it is also like good one. So you see, recipe site, and also I had like this extra hero section that I made. And right now if I click on it, nothing happens, because again I am only going to show you how you can make the landing page, how you could add the content in the blog section and all. I'm not going to design every single thing, simply because there are so many tutorials online right now that it's just boring to watch it. But once I show you how you make this landing page, you will just understand how you can make every single page. So don't worry about it. And also I have this page as a template that you could download for free and then use it on your website. So that's one thing that you could do. So before we start, we are going to need some prerequisite things, for example hosting and domain. So I'll link some favorite hostings or my recommended hosting in description, and also to this page. And I prefer you to check this page so that you could always check which is my preferred ones. So for this one, I'm going to choose Hostinger, and you can also click on this Hostinger, and if you ever purchase Elementor premium version, just click on this one. So I'll click on Hostinger. This leads to this page. Just go into hosting, web hosting, choose your favorite plan. I'll choose anything right now, and then choose for 1 year, 2 year or 4 years. Don't choose for 1 month, and just do the payment, and you will have a thing called HPanel. After you have done all the payment, you will get an access to something called HPanel, where you will go into your hosting, and then here you will actually do the first time setup. For me it says manage, but it will say your first time setup, and basically choose a server closest to your target audience. So my audience is in USA, the target audience, then I'll choose USA. And then all you need to do is, if you got a free domain, which would be present around here, if you got a free domain from Hostinger, but if you don't have a domain that you purchase on Hostinger but on another side, just go on websites, create this, do skip, and then you could see a domain previously purchased at another provider. So if you have purchased your domain from GoDaddy or some other site, just click on this one and add your domain and do the setups which are shown around here. So just click on manage, and in here you go into website, click auto installer, just select your WordPress. So add your website title, your administrator email, your WordPress dashboard username, password, and don't need to do anything else. Just click next. I always like to turn this off, and click install and wait. So first thing, in our dashboard we will go on appearance, themes, and for now I will be using OceanWP. You could use Astra, OceanWP, or Elementor's theme, which is Hello Elementor, but this one actually requires you to have Elementor Pro, because this is like very empty theme. There's nothing inside this. So because what Elementor thinks is that you will create everything about it. So themes are usually like pre-built stuff, but this one is empty, and you usually use theme builder, which comes with Elementor Pro to make the whole site. So depending on what you use, it is going to be at the end of the video you will just understand what you want to use. So let's get started. I will use OceanWP. Now OceanWP is a bit heavier on the sites than Astra and Hello Elementor, but if you want to buy Astra, then it's good. You could use the link in description for Astra Pro too. But if you don't have the money, just go for OceanWP. It's like the free theme is like much more customizable. Once you have done that, just click install and activate. Let's skip this. Let's close this. There's nothing. And then if we go into demos, we can see that we actually have some demos. And to be honest, I'm not going to use any of these demos. There's also like a food one that they have made. It's not food, it's like blog post one that they have made. If you want to, you could add this too, like if you want to have like this design, but they don't have much templates and I don't use the templates too. And so what I'm going to do is, the next step we are going to do is going to plugins, add new. We are going to add Elementor. Now again, you can make it with just Elementor, just free OceanWP and free Elementor. It's just that some of the widgets you will need to adjust it based on the free versions. For example, this slider, we can make it with Elementor Pro, or you could use like premium add-ons for Elementor. So just install like a plugin. If you go into this plugin and if you add like, let's say, premium add-on for Elementor, you could actually make this for free. So this type of style. So I just did skip of everything when this Elementor was installed. And I'll basically just close this page now that we have installed. Let's refresh it. And right now if I go into my this stuff, it is empty. So first thing we need to do is go into reading, and I want to select a home page, but we don't have any home page. So let's go here and then create a new page, and then we create our home page. Let's click edit with Elementor after we named it, and let's do publish, and let's reload this section. So now if we go into static and click home, it will show our home page here. Now obviously we can create a blog page and all, but we have to actually make that first. So what I'm going to do is create a new page and call it blog. I guess I'll just publish it for now. And then if I refresh it, it just shows the blog page, you see. So now we got two pages for our blog and our home page. So like this and this. Next thing I'll do is go into appearance, customize. Now this is without using Elementor Pro, these steps, but I will also show with Elementor Pro what we can do. And that way in the end of the video, you could just decide whether you want to go for Elementor Pro or you just want to have the free version. That way you get both the idea of what we can do with themes and what we cannot do with themes. So with let me go into general option, general settings, and I will make the layout be full width. So I don't want a sidebar, so I'll do that. And then I'll go into, and obviously this customizer settings, if you go into appearance, customize, this settings is different for different themes that you use. So if you use Astra, it would be different. If you use Hello Element, it would be different. So this is for OceanWP, and again it's like very easy to do. Usually it's commonly, or it's usually same. It's just that one of the theme would have like more options than the other theme. And for free version, I think OceanWP is like the best one for the free if you don't want to like pay for Elementor Pro and all. But if you have money and if you want to go for like more customizability, then go for Elementor Pro, and if possible go for Astra Pro from my links. So I just decided to hide the title, and that's all for now on this page. Now we can do is we can add our header. So right now if we go into this, it is actually my text that I've made, and here we can actually create this header in like in an image, but I didn't do that. So for the time being, I'll just save it like this. Make sure you do it in a better way and not like this, the way I'm doing. Just create a nice image, and then we can simply just upload it and then skip cropping, and we got our product there. one more thing, I'll actually keep this open so that I know what I'm doing, and I'll choose this background color for the header. So if I go into general, I will use this background color for my header. I don't want this top bar, so I'll remove it. And then we have pages. So if I go into appearance, menus, we can actually create our main menu. Click display location main, create menu, and then we basically add our pages. So let's add our blog pages, home page, and then any other page that you create, it will be shown around here, so you could add it. For the time being, I'll just add like custom link and then just name it like, I guess, recipes, and then like contact us. And basically you could add like any link here. If you have pages made on your website, it shows here, but if you want to have like custom links, let's say to like Amazon or something, you could do that too. Let's save it, and then let's go into menus. It will not be shown here, at least for now, because we have to refresh it. So I'll just publish this one and refresh, and you can see we have our text ready here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into header again, and in general, or not in general, where is it? I need to check. So in menu, I believe. Okay, in menu I don't want the search icon, so this icon I don't want, so I'll disable it. And in the typography, in the main menu, I can actually choose what we want here. So for this site, I have used Rubik and Fujila 1. So I'll just go into menu and then I will choose Rubik, and then what I've done is, so it's 16 pixel, 20 height. So let's do that. So 16 pixel, 20 height, and that all. So I'm not going to go into like total details, because if I go into total detail and try to make it like perfectly like this, it would take like much more longer, because I will keep going like this. I will keep on going like testing like decimal values again and again, and I will try different font. That would just get like annoying. So I'll quickly go it. Then we go into our header, and then we go into menu, and we want our link color to be like black. So right now you can see we have black, and on hover, I guess I'll make it like orange, so that it's like same color as our logo. So that's one thing. Also this one is like 100 pixels, I believe. So what I'll do is go into header, general, make this like 100 pixel, and then also this is like full width. And again, this header is actually made with Elementor and not with customize this Ocean WP. I'm just showing it so that you guys know that you could actually make it without Elementor Pro. We could make it like full width, and then basically like add some padding on the left and right, and then we get the same effect. So let's do like 100 and 100, I guess. For this one, so I'll do for, it's good to work on mobile stuff quickly rather than doing it late. If you have the design ready, if you don't have design, then just keep messing around and then try to find which one works. So like I'll do 10 left and 10 right, and then we got different size, and we are done with that. So let me just publish that page, and then if I go into my site, you could see how it looks. We got blog, recipe, and contact us is going to give nothing, because again I've not created that page. So let's go into edit with Elementor, and we will start with our first thing, which is this section. So let's add this container, we have to make sure we are using Elementor full width, else there would be gap on left and right, unless you change it in your theme, which we went into appearance customize. And if we change the whole site to have like the full width, then it doesn't really matter. And I actually have I today recorded like a 3-hour video of everything about Elementor. If you want to, you could watch that, and that would give you like a much better idea, because right now I'm just going to speed through. So right now I'm going to make the minimum height to have 100 VH. So basically we are saying that the height should be 100 VH, so wave height. So no matter what size the screen is, it will always be like this full size. Now as we made this to be like 100 pixels, we can actually do is add like -100 margin to it, but again it's not going to work because it starts from here. So let's just do it normally, and I'll show you how you can change it later. So first thing, I guess the color picker does not work well. So let's do is select this container, go into style, and then add our background color. So basically it's an off-white color. It's not much visible, but I guess you could see the difference. It's very slight. Then we need to add our text. So we will add our text. I'll make this in this container. I will make this to be in the center, and I'll make it to be center. And this one, this text we are going to call welcome to Flavor Fiesta, right? And we have it all capitalized. So what you could do is you could capitalize it while typing, or basically you could, go here and then make it transform uppercase. So not everything would be uppercase. And here I will make it go Fajala 1, I guess. Yep. And then we will go with, let's look what I chose last time. So it's 500, normal 65. So I made 65. And this is like 500. Okay, this is not, this is one. So 30, 500. So 30, 500, and then everything else is like normal. And then make it black in color. And we got the text. Let's duplicate it. And the next text which I wrote is, let's remove that, where text text stage. And then this one was like 65, right? 65. Okay, there we go. Now the thing is, if you want to do this type of color, then you will need to use something called custom CSS, and it is only available for the pro version. There is like free alternatives too, like Royal add-ons for Elementor, which adds like this custom panel. It adds like their own custom CSS panel here. Royal add-ons for Elementor. I have a video on YouTube which says that how you can get Elementor features for free, and you could check if you want to use that, if you don't want to pay anything. But I would really recommend to buy Elementor Pro, at least in future or now, because you just have to worry about only one plugin. If you start adding too much plugins, you have to like worry whether it will break the site, and it will also slow down your site. It will slow down the backend and all. So make sure that if you have the money, go for the Elementor Pro with my link. But I will show this how you can make this later when I install Elementor Pro. But let's get started with this thing. So let me just type. So this is what I'm going to type: font, style, or was it this thing, font color? I totally forgot. Okay, so I just opened the site which I have made. I'll basically just copy it and then show you guys what I've done. So basically we will type font color equal to, and then in double quotation we will type the colors. So if you don't know what the colors are, you could type hex color on Google, and then basically just move around whichever color that you want, and then copy it, and then copy it in this space, whatever color you want. So for now we will use font color, and then we want it to be before text or before taste, and then after taste we want it to end. So we will add open bracket slash and then font. So it basically we are saying that, so there we go, anything between this should be this color. So let's try the second one. So the second color is this one, and we want it for stage, so I'll add it here and then close the bracket like this. So now we got the site where it says where taste takes center stage, taste takes center stage, and in the taste we will add, for underline we add a U like this wherever we want underline, and for italics we can do like this if you want it to be in italics, but we are doing only underline, so I'll do U. So I'll do on taste and then I'll close it after taste, so U. Okay, so make sure this is like inside the font colorings like this. And then we add it here too, so U, and then /U. We got it showing here nicely. Next we just have a text. So again, now this one we have set it to H1, so if you want to do H1 too, you could do H1 or H2. This is basically for SEO, and I think you would need to learn SEO a bit. It's very easier to explain, but you could just check any SEO video and they would explain it very well. Next I'll add another heading. This one I'll make it p tag so that it is normal. I'll copy the text that I've made or typed, which is basically this thing, and then we will make this one like black, make this be bigger, we will make this real big, and then we will make this, I guess, 400. It is how much, like 417 pixels. Okay, so 17 pixels for, and then all should be like uppercase, and then we got that same design that we have made around here. Where is it? Right here. And then what we will do is we will add divider like this, and right now I want my colors to be, so let me check here. So I'm going to do is, for this one I want it to be, let's say how thick you want, so I'll make it 3, so that's how thick I want. I'll add the color, and here I will press plus, and then I'll call it like orange color, I guess. And it is basically like we are creating a palette where we can basically add our color quickly. So if I, let's say, if I want to change the text or this color, I can basically go in here and then choose the orange color. And the best part is you can actually go into your site settings, so which is like, if you go here, so first click around here, then go here and then go into site settings, go to global colors. This is how it looks right now, but you could just remove the style guide preview for time being. And here, if you see, if I change the color, it basically changes to anything that has that global styling applied to. So that way you could have like similar sections where, or if you have like multiple buttons on your site, and if you want to change the color quickly of everything at once, you could do it. So let me just, discard it. And here I will make it again to normal black color. Remove the gap, or I guess I'll keep 15 gap. And then this one I will make it aligned in center like this, and we got our first section made. Next is quickly we are going to create buttons. So right now if I create button, it will not be perfect, because what I need to do is I need to go into container and then add it here. That way I can make it go from like left to right, so I can make it align on left to right, rather than if I don't add this container, it would be like this. Let me show you guys. So it would be like this, one below another. We don't want that, so I will keep it, and then I'll make it align in the center. This one would be explore recipes. So explore recipes. We will connect all the buttons later. This is using Rubik. Uppercase. I guess 16 is right now. Okay. And then 14. We will choose our arrow here. Add our arrow. If I'm going too fast, just slow down the speed on the video and watch it, because there are so many tutorials right now that I think it's just good to like go faster and you can understand it what I'm doing rather than showing you every single step. That way you can learn faster. I'll make the border radius to be 5, which is basically adding like the curve. If I make it like too much, it would be like this. So let's make it 5. So these ones are a bit bigger than what I've made here, and that we can do it easily by like say adding padding based on how we want it to be. So let's say I do like 45 and then like 15. Let's try 40. That's too much. Let's do 30 and then 30 like this, and then we get this stuff. We actually can reduce it from the right a bit so that it is like nicely looking, because we have this icon, so it looks weird if I use like same padding on left and right. I'll delete this one and I'll duplicate. I'll also add a hover effect. So here we can actually add is, let's say, let me delete that. Okay, if I want the color to change on hover, we can choose like different color on hover if we want to, like this. But I don't want to do all that. I want to keep it simple like this, and instead I'll add a float effect. Never mind, where is it? Float effect. So now whenever we hover, it will do this. We can obviously add like border and all. Let me delete now and then duplicate. And now I will create the second text color. So basically we will create another color and then call it green. And then this one is just vegan recipes. So let's do vegan recipes, and then we got that. And for that one we can add a button or we can remove it. I'll remove it for this one, but here I have actually added it, and you guys know how we can add it. Then is simply to add an image that we want to be in the background. So I'll add this image, I'll upload it. We got the image ready here, but we want the display size to like cover it, and then I guess I'll make it like top center, or actually no, center like this. And now we got this nice image, making the website look much more better than when it was empty. So basically the hero image is getting carried by our background image that we have used. And again there is like this second option too, which you can make, and any other border radius, background color, image that you want to use, you could use it. So the next step we will do is, now this one is dependent on whether you want to use it or not, this color. So let me show you how we can do it. So I'll create a new section. I'll make the border box layout to be 1500, and then I'll make this one to have the orange color that we had. Make the minimum height, well, let's keep it normal for now. I'll go into this top layout or top section, go into shape divider, go into bottom, and then I'll click on waves pattern. Is that the one, or is it waves brush? And then I'll choose the color so that it is visible. So you could see we are actually adding like this pattern at the bottom. And basically if I remove this thing, if I remove my second section, this is how it looks. And the reason why I did that is because Here we can see we have like, if I add different color, it looks weird. So make sure this color and this next color is same. So I'll add a wave brush. I'll make the height bit smaller. We can also flip it if we want to. We have like width option and all. I'll keep it like this. It looks good to me. Now the next thing is I have created this with Elementor Pro. So if I go into this, we can see that I have used something called carousel, which is only available in the premium version. So if I go into here, we can see that we actually have carousel widget, which is only for image, but here this is limited. And what you can do is, if you go to my web video where it shows that how you can get Elementor features for free, I have shown a video on, or I have shown a section on premium add-ons for Elementor, where I show how you can use their own widget to actually, for example, I'll use it in here and show you what I mean. So if I go and type carousel, and you see this one, premium add-ons. So if you install their plugins, you can actually just add it, and then you get option to use templates around here, and that way you could use it too. And basically the steps are all same, except instead of making it around here, you will be making it in a different section. Or should I just show you guys? I'll just show you guys, why not? It's my tutorial, I can show you. Just make sure if you are using Elementor Pro to use my link, that way you can support me. And also I would really suggest to get Elementor Pro rather than using any external plugins, because again, it's just better for your site overall. And let's say if I make this, and then if I go into templates and then go into saved templates, here I can simply just create new template. So click create, add new template, create section. I'll call this slide 1, I guess, and then create template. Let's say if you have Elementor Pro, what you would do is, instead of doing this, what you would do is you would go into carousel, and then you would drag this in, and which I'll show you sooner. So for example, you will use the carousel widget, which is this one. So this icon, you see there is dots below that. You will just add that like this, and then make it have slide display 1. And I'll show you in this video too. So don't worry, I'm just giving a quick rundown what I've done. And then basically we can add we can add anything around here with Elementor. So let me quickly show you what I'm making. So in the slide 1, which we are creating a section for, I'll basically create 2 structure like this. I'll make it here so that I can quickly compare it with this one, so that I know what I'm doing in a much faster way. So first thing is, we need to have this one, and then 2, and then 1 2 3 4, and okay. So here I will add an image. So I'll click on this thing and add an image. Let's select it, and now we have the image. I'll display cover it and then make it like center. And here we will do is, we will add so right now we have something called featured here. So I'll add a heading. I'll make this P. I'll call this featured like this. Make this white. In typography we will use Jala one. I think that's the one that I've used. Never mind, I've used Rubik. Let's make it like 16 pixels. Let me just make it black so it is visible, at least for now. And we will make it like bigger, or however you want. We will add some letter spacing. And what we are going to do is, we are going to go advanced, click on background here, and we will add that orange color. Then we will go into layout and then click align self, so that it is not using this one. By default, every element in Elementor uses this one, which is stretch. But if we do for start or this stuff, we can move it and it will not be stretching. And then we just basically add padding. So let's say I add padding of 15 at bottom and 15 at top, so we get this featured layout, featured text basically, and then make this white, and now we get this featured layout. I'm not perfectly making it because you could see it's a bit bigger, but just understand that you will need to keep on working to make it sure that it is perfect size like this. I think if I keep on going for perfection in every tutorial, it would go like way too big. So the first thing I did is feature, and what we are actually planning to do is, if I show you in this container, I'm using something called space between. And what space between does is, if I let's say duplicate this 3 and I make this one be a bit bigger like this, what space between does is, so here it tries to just have one thing at the start and one thing at the end, and anything between it just gets like equally spaced like this. So what I'm planning to do is, I want a featured image here or featured text here, a button here, and we want this section to be in middle. But if we use lots of widget, it will not be able to do that. So what we actually do is, we add a container in it, because then it considers it as a single widget. So you see right now it is considering it as a single thing, and this one is considering it as a single thing. So now if I let's say duplicate, and then if I go into here and then let's say place it in the middle, this is how it looks. And again, if you cannot see this panel, you could click on navigator, and if you have the newest version, it would show on the top, and the icon is same, so don't worry, because they are going to release like new layout, and this section would be on top for that version. So yeah, and this is what we are going to do. So in this container, we are actually going to add a heading. So you know what, I'll actually get to our home page that we have made. I'll copy this and then I'll paste here, and this one is called Motichur Laddu. I'll just copy it because I don't want to bore you guys, and make this like bigger to whichever size you want. And then we will actually add is a text editor like this. So if you cannot add it very nicely around here, we can always, never mind, we cannot, so we have to add it around here. And then let me just copy paste it, and I will copy paste it. Sometimes when you copy in this section, it usually has like some text values added in here, for example some styling added in here. So let's say if you copied text from somewhere and then pasted here, and no matter what you do, like if you change color, if you want to change the size, it is not doing it well. What you need to do is simply click notepad, paste it in there first, and then after you have pasted in there, you could paste it here, or basically just leave all of that and then place it in text by going to text and then going to visual again. And basically what it's doing is, this is visual editor and this is the HTML editor, and when we copy and paste in HTML, we are not copying any styling, but sometimes when you copy and paste in visual editor, we also copy and paste the styling from wherever you have copied it. So let me add Rubik. I'll make it like 16 pixels because that's like nice looking pixels, or that nice looking size. I don't know what I'm even saying sometimes. So I added a container inside that, you see. And again, I am using Hostinger hosting right now, and if you want to get the Hostinger hosting, please use the link in descriptions. That way you could support me, and I'm going to keep saying that again and again because why not. So here we can see I have actually used like 3 icon boxes. So the way we will do is, we will add this icon box like this. We will delete everything around here, and then let's say I type vegan, click this on the left side, make the vertical adjustment to the middle, and on the content size we want it to be 0, because if we don't do 0, it thinks that we still have some stuff around here. So we want it to be 0, so make it 0. Now it's in the center like this, and then we want this to be green, so like this. And then here we will type, I guess, leaf, and then we got our leaf. We want the icon size to be 16 pixels, I guess 18 pixels, 20 pixels. Okay, 20 looks good. In the content section we will make it black. We will again make it like Rubik, 16 pixels, normal and stuff. And obviously you could keep on adding, like, let's say different typography too. For example, right now we are only using it for what you call font, right? But you could also do it for what you call text. So let me just show you. So this one I'll call it like meta feature, something like that, random name. And now we have that added. And basically if I, let's say, add another icon box, I can just, you know, go in my this settings, and then I can choose meta features and it will automatically change it to that size. But we have even faster way to do it, and that is by just duplicating it. And in this section we will actually make it go from left to right rather than going from top to bottom. Now next thing is we will add a circle. Again, you could use anything that you want to. Call this, so what was this called? So let's just add like expert level, and then this one is like 3 hours, and then add like clock like this. And obviously we need to change the color. So if it's an expert level, I'll make it like some different color. I'll make the circle to be like at least filled rather than being like this. Let's make it like look nicer. And then here we will make the icon color to be like, I guess, yellow. Nope, not yellow, definitely not yellow. Something like this. Now obviously this is bad color matching. So right now if I go and I'll just copy it from my older site. And before I do that, I'll just show you guys what we also need to do is add button. Again, I'm not going into details of like adding perfectly looking stuff, else it would just like take too much time. And also right now we want the button to be outside, so let's just move this and then move it below it. Can it not move? Okay, let me just add it again. Button, and then I want it to be outside, so I'll just place it outside here and place it below. So now we got this nice stuff. Now one more thing is, every time I want to add a button, let's say, and if you have like some design that you have already made, go into site settings, go into buttons, and then basically if I go and let's say make my button design from here like this 16, and then I make this one have like, I guess, white text, and then we have I guess transparent background, and then I add like border radius of 1, sorry, border width of 1. I make this black, and then I add 5 border radius, and then on hover we make the text to be black, and then the background to be, I guess, black or just white, you know. So you cannot see the difference around here. So because what we are actually doing is we are actually creating a button around here, and it basically just changes the default buttons thing. So let me show what I mean. So I'm going to save it. Now if I just choose like button and then drag and drop it, it still didn't work as I wanted to. For example, I want, when you make something around in that, let's say if you make a button in that, whenever you drag it, it will have that settings. So rather than having the default setting, it will have that settings. I think this one I didn't choose, so just make sure you choose it right on there. And that way whenever you would be like dragging like a button widget, it will have that styling, and you don't have to style it every single time. I don't know why that didn't work that time. I think I might have not done it perfectly, but yeah, it's very simple. And sometimes if it doesn't work, you will have to just do it manually like this. 16 pixel 400, and then we will go here and then add arrow, add this stuff, make it after, add like the 10 size, and then we have like check recipe. So like check recipe, and this is how we have added right now. And now everything is based on the height of it. So let's say I make it like 850. Is that too much? It looks too much, right? Let's make it like 750. I guess for time being I'll use 750. And obviously the reason why I made it around here is to showcase you guys how you can use it with premium add-ons for Elementor. Else I wouldn't have made it like that. I would have used the carousel widget, but still a tutorial is a tutorial. You could see that it actually added like border to our this buttons too when I change it here. So we will need to do is type none around here so that it overrides it, and then it's normal. And what we will basically do is we will go into carousel, and this is by premium add-ons by Elementor. This is the alternated free wave that I'm showing, and I'm going to do slide 1, and you could see that we have that thing showing around here. Now the issue is we actually didn't add a white background behind it. So like this, let me update it here. Let's remove it and then add it again, and now we can see it showing like this. And then what we need to do is, right now this is too big, right? Let me just change it to be like 650. I guess 650 for now. Now this is basically how it is. We have to just keep on adjusting the value until you find the right ones. So we will go into this main container. We will type go into padding and then add like, let's say 100 padding and 100 padding at bottom and left and right of 20 pixels like this. So we actually got it ready very quickly, and obviously there's like spacing issues and all, and that you can fix it by adding our column spacing. So let's say add 15 padding like this. I guess we can just change this and it will update. So we can see we have this thing here, and right now this is like wider and this one is this much. So I believe that is because this, for that one I've set it to 55, and then this one might be 45. So let's try it. And again, this is for premium add-ons, which is why I have to like go back and forth. And then obviously we can add a padding inside this too. So let's do like 40 padding and see how it looks. So we actually got a look ready. So we will select this carousel, and then I guess we can add a border radius with this. Nope, this is for navigation arrow. We will have to go into advanced and then add our border radius if we can. I'm not sure why we cannot add the border radius. It seems we are not able to add border radius here, but instead we could just, do it around here that way. So we have like multiple ways to do stuff like this whenever some issues happen. So you see we got this nice border. Now the issue is we will go into our where is it? This is very confusing if you guys are not following. So basically this one is what we are making, and this is already created site. I'll go to my home page just to and go into my dashboard, go into the templates, so templates, save templates, and I'll basically duplicate it. Again, if you don't have this duplicate option, then it is from like premium add-ons for Elementor. But if you don't have it, you could basically create add new. You could do is add new template like this, 2 sections, type slide 2, create template, and then basically from the slide 1 section, we will basically copy it to the slide 2 like this. Full section, not just that. So let's copy and paste it, and we actually got it. And then I'll just call it 2. I'm not going to do like full changes because not right now. So let's update and then refresh it. This is slide 1, slide 2, and our home page. And if I go here and then choose slide 2, I'll remove the navigator for now. You can see we actually got our Motichur Laddu 1 and Motichur Laddu 2. And this one is made with like free stuff, by the way. Even though I'm using Elementor Pro in this version where I've created the full site, we actually got the same stuff around here. And then basically it's just, you know, adding the navigation menu buttons. It just in center like this. I will add like a background color, and then this color would be our orange accent color. Then we have an option of adding size. Then we have an option of adding our border radius like this. And then we have option of changing the where we want this to be. So let's move it like this a bit. Make the size a lot bigger than normally around this stuff. And navigation icons. So if you don't want to have this, we can change it from navigation and then add like none. And there we go, we got that. I also don't want it to be infinite loop, so I'll remove it. That way, you know, if we go around that side, it is stopped, and then if we go around here, it is stopped. But you could also do infinite loop. That way people can keep on scrolling. And I don't want it to be autoplay, but sometimes for carousel it is good to add autoplay, because usually on carousels it is noticed that people don't usually click on it. Usually first and second slide, not even second slide, only first slide is the one that gets all the attention, and then people don't really care about the second slide and third slide. So again, rarely use this stuff. So we got how many slides should be shown on desktop. This one, all of them should be 1. So we only want to show like 1. Like this. Now for the premium version, and this one I'm going to go very quick. I don't think I'll just quickly show you guys instead of going like super quick. And just remember that this one is a bit buggier when you're changing stuff, because it's very new. So this carousel one, so let's go and, or should I show at the end? Never mind. Okay, I'll show it in this one because I've already created it. Because if I install Elementor Pro, I would not remember what was in Elementor Pro and what was not. So when I want to like showcase in this tutorial that this can be made for free, I would not remember if it was present already or it is only present for Elementor Pro. So I'll keep it like this only. And what we are going to do is, so what I've done in here is basically just, you know, added this carousel widget, which is this one, like this. Okay, never mind, not this one. I have added the premium version, which is yeah, this one, and I add it around here like this. Then I choose that only one slide should be shown and only one slide should scroll like this. And basically, you know what we did around that section where we created each with like 2 containers and all. It's basically that instead of working on a different section, we just add it inside of this stuff like this, and then we choose make it full width, make this one like full width, and then we like duplicate it. Then we do is add image. Everything that I did just right now, where I showed it in a different panel, it is done in, where is it? So it is basically done in the same page rather than going into different page. And actually you would be working with this sections like this. So you see all of them which I've shown how I did it is shown around here like this, everything same. Basically we just edit it around here. And for the container, so sometimes when you click on it, it does not show the right one. So in the navigator we need to go into carousel so that we get the carousel settings. We can basically delete the first, second and third one, and then make sure when you edit the first one, okay, so this is what I mean when it's like a bit slow. It takes like much more time to load. Basically what you need to do is you need to make sure that you edit it completely and make it responsive, and I'll show you how you can make responsive quicker or sooner. And once you've done making this responsive, we just basically duplicate it, and that way you get like quicker way to do it. And we are basically doing the same thing. There's like navigation stuff that I have added in here. Pagination, we don't want anything, that is like dot stuff. And in the navigation I will add like 30. We are not able to see it because I have removed the slides. So now we can see the navigation button. If I go into navigation, choose the color for it, make the padding like 50. I need to make sure this is outside or actually inside, whichever works. I want to have a background of white so that it is visible like this, so you can see. And the reason why this is like a bit transparent, because if I go into my settings, I have infinite scroll on, so when I actually check it on the live page, it would not be transparent like this. But if I had my infinite scroll off, then it would show the transparent like this when there is no option to go back. So for example, if I go forward, you could say this one is showing, but there is no option to go forward, which is why it's showing transparent. But when you are in infinite scroll, this both would never go transparent, because you can never stop. And on the live page it will show not automatically, but while in the editor it will not be showing. Even if you enable infinite scroll, it will be still showing the transparent. So if we go into our navigation, go like let's say 20, and then we add like our padding like this, make it bigger, choose the color that we want, and then what we do is we go into our navigation, and here we can actually have more settings right now like this to change the positions where we want it to be like this. So you see that is all we have done. We can also change if we want it to be like at the bottom, if we want it to be like in the center or stuff, but that's basically what we have done right here. Pretty same stuff, nothing crazy. So let's delete that. And this one is, so this is the one that we are working on right now to showcase. So you see, nice design. One thing you can say is if I go into my responsive ones, it will not look good because we haven't made it responsive yet. So let's quickly just add the next section. So the next section is our food gallery one, and this one. So let me like add the food gallery one. So one thing I need to tell you guys is, if we are doing free version, we cannot add this meta tags, but we can do this text. We could do this text, but not this meta tags. You will need to use ACF, which is free version. But If you want to use it without Elementor Pro, you will need to do some coding. You could just go in ChatGPT and ask it to code for yourself for adding a PHP and all. But I'll show you a easier way to do it, and you will need Elementor Pro or any other plugin that allows you to add like dynamic content. Right now I'm going to show you with Elementor Pro only. So before that, I'll show you how we can make this section first. So what I've done is I have made it 1500 pixels. I will add a container. I'll make this full width, and then I'll make it have, let's say, 20%. So right now let me check how many percent I've chosen. So I have not even chosen anything. Okay, I have chosen, never mind, 32.3. So I'll make it 32.3 like this. Let's duplicate, and then let's duplicate, and then make it have this horizontal layout, and I'll make it wrap. Now if I don't make it wrap, let's say if by default it is no wrap. Even if you have not selected, it is no wrap. What it does is, if I make it bigger, it will just try to keep it in one size. So if I make it like this, you see, this is how it looks. It will always keep it on that size. But what does wrap does is, if I enable wrap, it tries to adjust it in that space, but if it cannot adjust it in that space, it basically turns it to the next part. So let's say if I reduce the size, you could see it is automatically getting adjusted, but as soon as I update it, it goes to the next size. So 32.3 is like the perfect size to be added, so that it is perfectly like this. And the reason we are adding 32.3 is, in our main container we actually have gaps, which is like 20 pixels and 20 pixels for row. You can obviously make it 0, but then there would be like no gap. So if I go into this one, you could see there are gaps like this, and those are added by this stuff. And you could obviously add your manual gaps, but I like to keep 20 because it looks good. And because there is 20 pixels, we cannot go with like 33.3, 33.3 or 33.3, because that makes like 100%, because we are also adding 20 pixels in between, 20 pixels in between, and by total it is 1500 pixels. So again, we actually can just delete the next ones right now, and I'll use this one only. First thing is, we will add a white background. Because I have an off-white, I like to add like a white background right now. Then I will do is add an image. Quickly add, let's say, this image. Then I will add is our heading. So I'll just, copy paste my heading from this one, paste it, make this like P, or actually I'll make this like H3. And then we will add like a food name like pizza French fry. I don't know, this is like a random name that I'm adding. Definitely not the right word. And then we will add is this stuff, which is our text editor. So if I could just copy paste it, it would be so much better. So let me just add our text editor. Let's select black color, and here again I'll use this one, and then make it like change. So whenever you do some changes, it just removes the global level, and that way you could actually just get like initial setup done for you, and then just change it to like have some, to do it a bit faster. I'll copy what I've wrote around here like this. Then we will click on the this container, and then add some padding all 4 sides. And then right now we can see that there's one more thing that I've added, that is this hover effect. And the way we can do it is, we actually need to add another container, and then in that container we want to have this image, and in this container we are actually going to add 0 padding. By default, Elementor adds like 10 pixels of padding, so you could see it is automatically adding. So we will just remove it, and this image we will actually do is, when we hover on it, so if I go into transform and then do hover on it, it basically should scale a bit. So that's too much. 1.2, that's too much. 1 is going to do nothing, so 1.05, I guess 1.1 for now. And you see, this is how it looks on hover, but we don't want it to go outside this section, so we will use this smaller container that we made. We will go into layout, advanced, and then we will click hidden. So anything that goes outside this smaller container, it will be hidden, and that way we get this nice effect. We cannot make it when it like goes on like this text and all. The only way we could do it is by CSS, and that way you will need like custom CSS, which is also Elementor Pro feature. It is 100% possible to like do that. Whenever you hover it on any single part in this one, it should make it bigger, but for time being I'll keep it like this because this is not going to be a CSS tutorial. So one more thing that I want to do is I want to add a border. You can see the border like this, but I want it to be like very subtle. So like this, I guess. So right now I'll keep it like this. Now we can see that we have done something like this, but we have not added this section. And the way we can add it is basically the same way I add it from here. So you know what I'll do, I'll update this page. I'll go and view our page. I will go on Elementor 1 or edit with Elementor, and then it shows whatever we have used. So I'll just click on slide 1. It will open the slide 1 page, and then let's just copy and paste it so that we don't have to like make it again. So I'll just paste it. If you cannot paste it, just paste it outside and then move it, and then we get that, you know, vegan expert level. Obviously we need to choose the right color. Right now it just looks like ugly because of those colors. Like I've chosen like nice colors, I put like more effort in it, but I quickly want to just show you how you can make it rather than showing you like every single detail and trying to do like every single pixel perfect. Right now I just want to give you the idea of how this works. So this is what we have done right now. I think we can do like 10, not 20. 20 looks good. If we want to, we can also add like border shadow behind it to give it like even more depth like this. Next is we will click on this section and then give it like nice padding on top. Nice padding on top, and left and right, always give left and right so that when someone changes the size, there's always some spacing around here. Border radius even lower, very like negligent. There we go. And now if I just duplicate it, you could see that we could just, you know, do stuff like this, make it quicker. And it's always good to have is add something like text color. So if I just add like recipe heading text color, something like this, it's good to do it for anything that is like repetitive, so that whenever, let's say if I just want to change the text color of every single stuff which is right there, I could do it quicker from here. For time being, let's just go like this, duplicate, 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 and then duplicate, but we don't have any links to it. So what we can do is we can select the main container, which is this bigger one, go into layouts, and then go into additional option, go into HTML tag and type a link. And remember that when you use this HTML tag a link, you cannot have any link inside of this stuff. So you cannot add a button, or you cannot add a link to this heading, or you cannot add a link to this one. We will add a link to whole of this stuff, but if you add any link to specific element inside this, again it will just break it. And if you still want to do it, what you need to do is you need to add like another plugin which has like a wrapper option. For example, premium add-ons for Elementor have this wrapper link, and then you could use it. That way even if you add a link inside it, it will not matter. But right now we will use the default one, and then a link, and then you just type anything in here, and then now this turns into a link whichever you want to. But again, this is not dynamic, which is a problem, right? We want it to be dynamic so that whenever we upload a blog post, it will update it. But I will show you how we can make it. But before that, let's just make the next of the design quicker. Now we just add like a button. So if I go into this one, so how I've done, so I have added one container. Okay, so this is the whole container. So we will add like another container in here, and then we will add the button like this, add it in the center, make it have that color, make it have like whichever color that you want. Why is there border? I don't want the border, even though I have set it in like by default. I think that was stupid of me to do it, but again, just make sure you do it in the right way. And obviously you could just change this stuff to match whatever you want. So let's say 35 we will do like all recipes, or like check more, something like that, and then we can add button around here. Also, we have not added this container stuff to everything. There's obviously an option to do is, rather than doing it manually like this, we can actually just go into style, go into background, and then make it have a simple color. And you could also do it for the whole site. So rather than just this page, you could do it for the whole site and have a specific color, specific background, by basically going into your site settings, and then you could just choose a background color for the whole site. But for now, I will keep it for just this page so that I have like much more control still. The next thing is we will add this heading. Very simple. We do it by the same method we have added this one. We will just add like underline and font weight. So let's quickly do that. Make this like 1500 pixels because that's what I'm using. 20, 100. The heading I'll copy from this one, paste it, type like we also have YouTube channel. We basically will add like the font color. So like basically we'll type font color and then type the hash value that you have. Let's do underline and then close the underline and then do /font. So we also have a YouTube channel, and then we can also like reduce it if we want to. Next, I have added a button. So basically you could copy paste button and then do the changes manually to have this style, not going into depth. Again, I don't want to showcase like every single stuff. It gets really boring. And I think learning yourself is going to improve you like much more faster than just watching and then trying to do every single pixel again and again. So once we have done this, I'll add is another container inside our main container. So this one is container, and then inside that we have another container. I'll make this full width so that it is whatever this box layout height is, width is. And basically we just add the video stuff. So video like this, and then same 32.3. so go into advanced, go into custom, and we type 32.3 to duplicate wrap, and then make it like a row horizontal like this. I duplicated wrong stuff, so okay, we want to duplicate this stuff. So now if I duplicate it, you could see we can simply just add our video. But also what we need to do is to just add your video, you basically have to add the link in here, whichever video you want. And here I will go on image overlay, click here, and then add your image that you want to add, and that way you have an image around here. So rather than having the ugly YouTube thing, you could have your own image around here. You could show the play icon, you could change the play icon if you want to something that you like. We also have lightbox option. Basically it will open like a pop up like this if you wish to. Then the next stuff is we will add our newsletter, and again let's make it 1500 pixels, give it, let's say, like 300 pixels, make this one background to be like green, and then inside it we have like subscribe to a newsletter, a form, and then I just added like a random image which is basically like my sign. But it would be good to add like something better rather than this sign, to showcase that you actually give like something important, rather than, or just add like you also get like 30% discount if you sign up for this one or something like that. Just give like some free stuff that people are going to be like, hey, I want to sign up for this because this is like seems important to me and it's also free. If you don't give any benefit, nobody's going to sign up for your newsletter, I can guarantee you that. So let's copy this, let's paste it, and I'm going to just copy this text and paste it. And right now you could see that it is not like this. So what we need to do is, inside of this we need to add another container. Let's add this into that container, and in this container we will just duplicate it and then make this one go from left to right, and yes. So let's delete the right one, and here we'll basically add our form. Now again, form is something that is only available for Elementor Pro, but again there are so many free alternatives. You could use WP forms, you could use contact form 7, you could use like MailChimp's you use MailChimp with contact form 7. So that's one way to do it. Again, if you want to do with form, I'll show with form, and this is again not MailChimp tutorial, so sorry, contact form 7 tutorial, so I'll just show it with Elementor. You basically just add the form widget like this, remove everything, remove the label, make the form column to be like 70%, and then button to have, let's say, the rest of the percent, so let's say 30% or whatever size you want. In the form field we will go and actually make the buttons have like 0 padding. So there we go, border radius, and then that way we can make it. Right now it's just because also we can like just go into custom size and then make it like even smaller like this to match it. And then in this one we can make it like 80, and then make the button to be like 20% so that it is adjusted there. We got button, we got this stuff, and basically it's just changing the text colors and all, very default stuff. And if you wish to connect it to your MailChimp and all, I'm not going to show you how you can do newsletters because it is like very different for each newsletter platform. So if you want to use MailChimp, it is different. If you want to use like Ninja Forms, not Ninja Forms, okay, I cannot remember the other ones, but it is very different. If you want to use it with contact form 7, it is different. If you want to use with Elementor, it is a bit different. So basically, if you just have Elementor Pro, you don't need to install WP forms or contact form 7. You don't need to install the MailChimp for contact form 7 plugin. You don't need to install the premium add-ons for Elementor plugin. So you already are installing 3 less plugins depending on your requirement. We are installing like 3 less plugins, which is why Elementor Pro, you just get it, and one plugin you just use it for everything. So right now I'll keep the form empty, but you could basically just add your contact form 7 from here too. This contact form 7, this one, and then you do MailChimp or any other email provider you want to use, and then you install this one, and then you do the setup. If I went into showing newsletter setup, it will be like very boring. So again, there are like 10 minutes or 5 minutes tutorial online. which like explain to you how you can do the setup. And basically we will do is we will add the contact form 7 like this. Now you cannot see it because we don't have it installed, but if you have premium add-ons for Elementor added, it actually adds like a widget here which you could just drag and drop and do the same step that Elementor have done. And you will need to do some backend setups too. For example, you will need to do SMTP setups, so that when you do this setup you get the email and all, and it is also dependent on your hosting provider, so what hosting provider you have taken. So which is why I'm also not going to show you this one, so that if you don't do this you will not get the emails. Basically add an image here, add whatever you want to on the right side, and then we will have a newsletter around here. Next is the footer layout. Now the footer layout, I basically just added like a template. So if you go into here like this, go into footer, but these are all like pro version footers only, so I guess you could do is just publish it, and then this page, you can see this is how our page looks right now. This is all made with free, by the way. Everything's free. If you want to add contact form 7, we can add it, and if you go into customize, we can actually add our footer widgets with the OceanWP theme. And the best part about OceanWP theme is if you go into OceanWP My Library, you can actually create templates around here, and it also adds like a shortcode option for you. So this is only, the shortcode option is only provided for like the Elementor Pro. So if you go into save templates like now, you see there is no option of shortcode around here. See, no option of shortcode. If you get the pro version, you get option to have a shortcode. And basically what shortcode is, if you paste that shortcode anywhere, it will just show whatever it is present in that template. And I'll show you quickly. So let me just do is add new template. So the customizer is loaded. So while that is, I'll show this one first. So let's go on footer widget. It is enabled. We are using 4, and we go into widgets, and then we go into footer. Got it. And here we will basically add is a heading. Wait for it to update, and let's call it like DMmotionarts, whatever the name of your stuff is. And then we can add is pages. So obviously we don't want to have like all the pages. If you want a custom stuff, we can have is text. So what is text would be, so your paragraph like this. So if you want to add, let's say just a paragraph, you could add it. Or if you want to, you could add your logo around here too. And basically footer 1 is this section, footer 2 is this section, footer 3 is this, footer 4. And if you want to have just three lines, then you could choose the column here 3 2 1 like this. But what I'm going to do is, instead of that, and obviously you can change the color, so let me quickly show you guys. So yep, like this. And what we can actually do is, rather than making it in here, we can actually go into our, I went into OceanWP and library. Let's create footer like this. So rather than making it there, I will make with Elementor. And let me just copy paste it. So I'll do like paste from my other site. I'll quickly show you what I've done it. It's very easy. I've already shown you how this plugin works. Sorry, After Effects works. Not After Effects, what I'm saying, Elementor works. It's 2 AM guys, see, 2 AM, so don't judge me if I'm speaking nonsense sometimes. So what we have basically done is we have added 5 containers like this, and all we have done is added a heading and a text editor, heading and a text editor, heading and a text editor. And we basically can just add our links like this to each of this stuff. If you want to, we can also add like icon list like this and then give links to each one. So there are multiple ways to do it for the footer, but this is how I made it, just 5 containers in a row. And then let's publish it and let's refresh it. So reload, and I need to show you guys what I was saying by shortcode. So you could see that there is a shortcode available here. Let's say if I copied it and then pasted in this stuff. So if I add like shortcode and then I paste it around here, it will basically show whatever in that template is made in here. See, it's pretty nice. It's good to use it when, let's say, you want to have like one section shown in like multiple location, and you don't want to, let's say, copy and paste to each of this one. For example, if I want this product to be shown on multiple location on my site, and let's say if I change the name to be, let's say, something else, or the product name to be something else, I want it to update it on every single part. So you could just do is add like a shortcode and add it wherever you want in like any part of your website, and that way whenever you edit it in this way, it edits on the whole site. So in our customizer, let's go into footer widget, and right now you could see there's an option called select template. So let's select footer, and this is for free version. If you have Elementor Pro, you don't even need to do this, and this is what we have right now. I'll make the background color white, and let's remove the container like this, and then we got our footer ready with Elementor, that too, rather than using this one, because I think it is a bit limited. The footer widget that we are using, it is a bit buggy too, so it's just better to use the Elementor version, and then you could add your own. And then for the footer bottom, obviously if you want to add a footer bottom, you could add it in this template. Like you could basically add like a, you see, like another container like this, and then add a text in the middle, make it center, and then type like copyright stuff and all of this, and then it will automatically show at the bottom here. But if you want to use the theme version, you could obviously do that too. If you are not using theme version, you just have to disable it. But right now let's just use it, and then we can basically, you know, change the copyright to like stuff like this. Publish, and then we got our page ready. So let's see how it's looking right now. Looks good to me, and looks pretty to me. Got copyright, everything looks similar. Obviously some steps you need to do is, which I like skipped, like adding some spacing between like top and bottom, stuff like that, making sure that everything looks good, not having like random images in here. But again, I'm very sorry if you want to have like spoon fed, I guess, if that's the right word. I don't know what's the right word, but I think this is like a good way to showcase in a faster way what we can make and how we can make it without going in much detail, because I am not making like a super beginner tutorial, because there are so many tutorials online that it just feels like what you call, you know, a bit counterproductive for me to work and show like every single detail in a like every single detail in like just, you know, I don't know what it is called, like showing every single pixel. I'm using 16 pixel here, I'm using 13 pixel here, just copy pasting stuff, rather than, you know, this is the best way to do it. I just basically like, okay, let me just try this, or let me just show you what we can do. Let me just show what the, you see, transform value should be, and then showing you how I work, rather than giving like, oh, go in here and then type 1.1, go in here and type 1.1. Rather than that, I just go faster this way. If you want to have like very detailed one, let me know, and let's go. And now do is, let me update this, and what we will do right now is basically, we want this to be nicer. So we want this to be what you call, so we want this to be in a better way, if that's the right word. No, we want this to be like dynamic. So what I'll do is I'll go into all post. I will create my new post, and then I'll call it like I'll go into ChatGPT. So right now I am adding my first stuff, which is first post, which is the first blog, which is Motichur Laddu, and I'll just write me a blog article for Motichur Laddu. Let's see. So the title is this one. Let's copy paste and see, but we don't want it to be like this. We want the recipe name to be like this, just name. So we'll keep it like that, and I'll just copy this one. So for time being we will copy it here, but I'll show a better way. So for time being, let's just keep it like that. Now this is how the post looks, and obviously if you want to change it, because right now we are using our customizer or our theme to control the look of this page. So if we go into my customizer, if I go into, while that's loading, let's just do some more stuff. That is, if I go into the side panel, go into post, we can actually choose a featured image, which is going to be which image it will be shown. Let's do update, and here what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into blog, which is where our recipe would be. So blog entries, I don't want a sidebar, but if you want to, you could obviously add it. I'll make it full width, or maybe we will add sidebar, why not. Block style, we want it to be grid, and which is why I like this theme a lot. It gives like lots of options for free, but if I'm using Astra and all, you need to get like pro version just for showcasing this in a grid way. So this is how it looks. Grid columns, I'll do like 3 by 3. We can choose the width of our image. So basically, how much quality do you want? So if I want to do like 150 height, I can do 150 height, and then the height would change. It's not changing because it's not changing. So grid style equal heights. So we can make it bigger, but I don't think we can make it like a lot smaller and all. So yeah, it just changes the quality, but it does not change much about it. It is possible to change it. I think it is because we are in in this theme layout, which is why it's like messing up. But let's try with 100, and then let's try in masonry mode. Okay, wait, where is it? So let's make it in masonry to see. Never mind. Masonry is basically that if you have like different size of this section, it will just, you see, like if you had like second image or third post, it would just start from here. If you add for masonry effect, just search for masonry online and you will understand what it means. Accept length 30. Then we can choose if we want to show featured image here. We want to show the meta around here. I don't want to show the meta, so I got like this text. And read more, again no reason for adding read more, and we are not showing meta, so this does not matter. Heading tag, so we will add h2 for that. 3 by 3. I'll go into single post and let's check how the single post is looking. So this is how it's looking right now. This is how big this container should be. So full width content. So if I do, let's say 1000, it's not doing anything, because what we need to do is we need to go into general styling and then increase our container width. So I'm going to make it 1500 pixels because it looks like nice and big, fits the screen much more better. Go into our blog, go into single post, then do 700. Okay, this is only for full width content and not for this sidebar content. So if I go into, let's say, full width, I can choose how big it needs to be. So I'll add the sidebar for time being, like this. Let's delete that. We can now choose how we want it to be. So we can have featured image on top, we can have the title next, if we want to show the meta or not, so who made it or not stuff. Or if we want to show the meta, we can choose what we want to show. So we can show what the category, date, and who made it. Social share. So next is the tags. If you add any tags, this is the content which we have added. Social share is not going to be visible. It is a plugin that you need to install, which is like OceanWP social share. Next and previous link, it would show like next, like this one you might also like, next, and then it will show previous one. Author box, again I'm not seeing the author box, but okay. Related posts and comments, so comments is shown here. We are not going to see this one because we haven't added it. We don't have more post. But before that, what we actually need to do is we need to go into our typography, go into blog post title, and here we need to choose Rubik, or rather we need to choose Fajala one, like this. This one I'll make like normal, then make this like 65, I guess, or 55 pixels. And this is how we have the font color to be black. This one like this. If you want to have, let's say, font to be uppercase like this, if you want to do, so that's all I think for this one. Then we want to have some content around here. This is controlled by the body tag, and we will make it like 60 pixels, make the font to be like black. Again, this is completely not going to matter because I'm going to show you other methods too, but I just want to show you like different methods that you could do it. Now the thing that I was saying, that if we want to, we can actually just edit it with Elementor. So rather than using it by the default sections, we could usually just click on edit with Elementor. And what this does is it adds the option to use like all these widgets in this section. So rather than being reliant on the default which is provided in the theme, we can also add it with this one and just edit with Elementor and add anything that we want in this section, in this content section. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just duplicate it. If you guys don't see this option, then you could add a duplicator plugin, like different one. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make this published, and then make this published, and then update. Let's go into blog, and now we got like 3 posts like this. I'll delete this one, hello world one, which is basically the same one. So you could see you also have to change the font color and all for all of that. This is how it looks. You might also like, and obviously we would have like different sections around here. We don't want it to be same food again and again. Nobody wants to eat food, same food again and again. Pizza. So right now we are going to go into blog, and then we actually need to customize this the way this looks. And the edit option would not be available for, if you're not logged in with admin, it will not show the edit option. Let's go to blog. Never mind, not blog. Let's go to typography. Let's go to blog entry title, and here we will choose Fachala 1. Font weight, we will keep it normal. Then I guess maybe make this bigger, like 25 pixels. Make the font color to be black completely, and I think that looks okay for now. And then this one looks normal, it is controlled by the body tag. Let's go to blog entries again, and here I think so there isn't much option to actually control the spacing between this all, which is why we use like Elementor and all, because it has that option. But one easy way to add this option is by adding line height, but that also means that we cannot make the sentence bigger. So the only option we can add like height and all is by adding like custom CSS, and I'm not going to show you how you can do the custom CSS in this one, but basically you could just go into inspect, go into, let's say, like this, and you will need to know some CSS for it. And then basically you could add like padding on, let's say, top 20 pixels like this. And then basically, you basically just copy this. Let's refresh it so that it is not actually getting saved, it is just showing us. Let's remove the margin, and right now we can add like padding on top, padding bottom, like 20 pixels. Now we have like padding on top and left bottom. So let's do this, and let's make it like 10. And that way we could actually have like this designs. So you can see this is how our blog page looks. Basically, instead of naming it blog, we will call it recipe. So rather than having recipes, it will be called recipes around here. But again, we cannot add that meta tag which we want, which is like, let's reload it. Where is it? So like this meta tag that we want, which looks clean, and then this design that we want, that is something that we need to use Elementor Pro for, because then we get like more option to add stuff around. And I'm not going to show you how you can make like this single post pages. It is basically just use whatever design you want, just click with edit with Elementor, and then create your own design however you want it to be. The main part I'm going to show you is how we can add this meta tags and all. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to install Elementor Pro right now. Link in description. Just upload it, this one, and then connect and activate. Once you have followed the step, it will automatically activate it for you. And now we will go into our, actually we will install another one, So another plugin called ACF, advanced custom field. Just don't worry about the name, it's very normal. And activate it. And what we can do in Elementor Pro is, if we go into templates and go in theme builder, and if I go into archive, I can actually create a layout or a template for my blog section. So you know how this looks. I want to create it manually from Elementor. So what I'll do is I'll basically copy paste this one. So I'll like okay, now I was going to use this, but I just remembered they added like new stuff, so I'll actually use that method rather than using archive one. The new method is better. So we'll go into loop items, click add new, and the design we created, will basically just paste it, or basically you could just create it in here too. I'll make the preview settings width to be something that is better. So this one we will make like 100. In this one we will keep it like this. The preview settings we will make it like this. Okay, there we go. Let's add our border shadow. We have our border shadow. Very subtle. And what we will do is, in this one, rather than using image, we will actually create dynamic and choose featured image. Then here we will choose, rather than selecting this, we will select is post title, because we are creating dynamic page right now rather than having it to be manually added one by one. And here we will add, rather than having that, we will add post excerpt, and this one is not going to show anything until I apply to post. So basically what it's doing is, if I go to our site, if I go to my site and click on edit post, so not with edit with Elementor, but rather edit post, if I go into like excerpt, we have an option to add excerpt here if you want to manually add some excerpt, or if you even go into like edit with Elementor like this, you go into here, we have an option to add excerpt, and that way we could add manual excerpt, and that is what is shown around here. But right now we don't have it added, and what I can do is I can just choose like apply to post content, and that way whatever it is in post, it will show from the first to whatever it is. So I'll just make like 30, excerpt length to 30. That looks good to me. And this sections right now, even though they are present with like rubric, and I think the weight should be like normal for it to look good, we are not actually going to use it in this way, and I'll show you why. So right now I'll just publish for time being, and what I'm going to do is, if I go into it, it will just show nothing, by the way, because the way this works is we actually just create loop elements. So you could see this one is featured image, this one is the featured title, and this one is the post excerpt. So this is how we make like dynamic content. So if I go and create new page, I just press Ctrl E to like open this finder. Now this option is only available for premium versions or pro version, which is why I was showing all of that stuff before, how you can do it for free, but this is how you add it. So we add loop grid, and here we will choose the template. So right now we have added this one. We can obviously name it, change it to like, you know what it is called, recipe post template, something like that. Update, and then right now this is how it looks. So you see, as soon as I added it, which is this template, and let's make this full width, it is automatically adding it for everything. So all we need to do is, so rather than making it for like, you see 6 times like this, we only did it to for one section around here, and it dynamically added it for every single post type that we have. And we actually have like a lot more options here. So here we could have like post query, or actually not here, in this one. If we go into loop grid, and then it says recipe post template, and then we can choose to have it. Let's say if I create a category and then I add, let's say, category as recipe, and then add it here, it will only apply to the recipe it will only show the post which have the category recipe added, which is basically how you can add it. I need to show everything, I keep forgetting. So let's go web page. It is not updated, which is why it's not showing. Now one more thing I forgot, that the clicks are not going to work, you see, because what we need to do is we need to also select this one, go into layout, go into additional option, a link, and then here we choose the post URL like this. And now if I just reload it, I have it working nicely. And basically what we do is we create categories. So if I create a category like this around here, add new category recipe, or we can even do like vegan recipe, something like that. And then we could add, or we could add like recipe category, and we could have like let's say if I do add, let's say something like recipe just, and then we will choose vegan recipe like this. Obviously we don't do this like this. We first, obviously the main one should be recipe, and below that should be vegan recipes, non-veg recipes, vegetarian recipes. I just did it opposite. Rather than adding vegan recipe inside this, I add it above there. But for time being, let's just keep it like that. And what it does is basically I'll need to refresh it. Let's say you want to only showcase it for vegan recipes. You could do is go into query, type terms, and in types let's search for recipe, and you could see that category we have vegan recipe, and then we have vegan recipe, stuff like that. So we have vegan recipe, and inside that only recipe, or this one. So if I choose that, you see only one is showing because the next ones were not given any categories. So I'll keep it empty for now. Now the issue is, even though we have made this section dynamic, we have not made this section dynamic, and there is no way to do it by default stuff, which is why we need to use ACF. So let's go to dashboard, we installed ACF, go to field groups, and let's add new and call it recipe data, stuff like that. Okay, then we go into radio buttons, and I'll call it recipe type, and here we will type vegan, vegetarian, and then like let's say non-veg, stuff like that. Okay, so if I save this right now, if I go and save this, also one thing forgot to show you, location rules. So where this should be shown, we want the post type to be equal to post, or you could also do is we want the post category equal to only recipe, so it will only be shown for recipes. But I am going to do is post type equal to post, basically like for every single post. But this option just allows you to like target specific stuff only, rather than all the posts in your website which are made in here. So let me show what this does. So if I go into the pizza package, click on edit right now here, I get more options around here, so which is vegetarian, vegan, non-veg. So let's say I select non-veg right now, update, and if I do anything, it will not do any difference. It will not be like making, it will not automatically like change this to like non-veg. How do I preview it without reloading? If I remove it and then add it again, okay, you could see nothing changing, because right now this is not dynamic, this is just a text that we have added. So how we can fix it is, I'm going to simply delete all of this stuff, and inside this I'm going to add heading, and I'll make this P, and then I'll have this one be dynamically showing ACF field, which is this, which is why we want to have like Elementor Pro, because of this ACF stuff and all. And obviously you don't need to use like literally this one only, you could use anything. I need to refresh it. You don't need to just use like Elementor Pro, you could use like any dynamic stuff, or even if you don't buy Elementor Pro, you just buy like any third-party plugin which allows to add this stuff, then obviously go for it, it's your choice and nothing wrong with it. So let's add our heading again, because I don't know where it is gone. Okay, there used to be something that I added which is like a container. Did it just get deleted or what? So let's add it like this, and here we will select is going to ACF field, and in this one we will click on wrench and then choose the recipe type. You can see it automatically shows the text Rubik, and then we'll make this 16 pixels, 400, and like this. And that way we could actually just showcase it, but we cannot showcase the icons, which is very annoying. But there is a way I found today which was like very pain to find, even though it's very easy to do. So what we will do is we will go into our ACF, click edit, and here we will do is I will go here. Now by default we use Font Awesome 5. Elementor uses Font Awesome 5, but if you are using any other plugin and you don't have Font Awesome 5, you could click Font Awesome 5 like this. Usually most of the themes do use Font Awesome 5, so you could just install this one too, but usually it's by default added. And what this allows us to do is it allows us to add icons around here. So let's say I choose Font Awesome by icons like this. Okay, and now I want to have the leaf icon, which is this one. So let's click on it. Oops. And we will copy this one, so you see. And what I'll do is I'll be pasting it here. Now let's save it and see if it works. So let's reload it, and you can see it's not working because I believe, okay, so I realized why it wasn't working. So what I needed to do was install this one plugin 2, which is Advanced Custom Field Font Awesome field. Okay, without that it isn't working. I don't know why. It should be working, but again adding this plugin fixed it. And again, it doesn't matter if you add like too many plugins if the plugins are good. So yeah, that is one thing that I added, and now as soon as I added it, it just works. So I'll make this one like this, and then rather than for non-veg we will add a circle, I guess. Let's copy it and then paste it here like this. Let's save it, and then let's reload, and you could see the icons how it looks. And by the way, for Font Awesome, this is the icon a name. So for example, you could see this is the icon name, but this first one just shows like font awesome solid, font awesome regular, font awesome light, and then font awesome duotone. So FAS, FAR, you could just choose anything that you want. For me, I'm just keeping it normal. And now if we actually just reset this, and then let's say reload it, and it is still not showing. So let's try it with this page. Let's check in our main page. It's not showing, and I know why this happens. You need to actually just choose it again and then update, because if you did add it later on and then you don't update it, it just does not update. So now it should work. So you see now it is working, and let's add some space after that thing. Again, let's refresh by updating it. Okay, if that is not working, we can actually add space like this too, which is typing NBSP and then quotation. So just copy and paste this for space, and NBSP and NBSP and NBSP. So let's do that and see how well it works. It just does not work. So let's try it again with here. So let's reload this way, and it is now showing the space. To be honest, it's showing like double space now. Why? Just try without NBSP and then try with NBSP. Whichever works, just works. So right now I'll choose non-veg and update it, and then you could see this is how it looks. So let's add it for our next post too. So let's do edit post and then edit post, and choose, let's say I'll choose like vegan for this one. So let's update it, and then let's choose vegetarian for this one. Let's update it. So now if I just refresh it, this is how it looks. Now the issue is we don't have any color around here, and the way we can fix it is choosing this one, this container, or basically choosing the non-veg or whichever the recipe type is. Go into the advanced section of it, go into custom CSS, and we will add custom CSS. And basically we already know the class names, so we know that FA leaf is for vegan, FA circle is for non-veg. So let's say FA leaf, let's copy it, and then let's copy the FA circle, because these are the class names for this icon. So we already know what we just have to like type. Let's reload this thing, and it's pretty easy. Whatever the class name that you have used, or whatever the font awesome icon you are using, it will always have this class icon. And what you need to do is basically, so the code starts from here, we will type dot whichever the class name is, and then basically we will type color, and here we will type like anything, and then just do like this. And then for the leaf one, we will do is, let's add color, and then let's do green. You could add any hash value, you don't need to type text, you can add any hash value. I'm a bit sleepy right now, which is why I'm like speed running this. And you could see how this is working. It just turned this to red, and then turned this to this one. So anywhere which is using this stuff, what you call leaf, it will show green, and wherever it is showing this one, it will show red. But the issue is, if we use, let's say in this one, let's reload it. Now one issue is that I think I should just show you guys in case it ever occurs with you. So if I just make this, let's say circle, it will automatically have that color. And you could obviously change it luckily, but let's say you don't have the option to change it. So what we can do is, because it is actually applying for everything in this page, so everything in this page wherever we are using FA circle would have red color. So what we can do is we can add a selector tag in front of it, which is basically saying that it is only applied to whatever it is only applied for the inside of this stuff. And if you don't want to use selector, you could always go into layout and type a custom class of it, like recipe type, and then basically rather than typing selector, you will type like recipe type and then recipe type, so that way you don't have to type selector. And now if I reload, and then add an icon, and then add a circle, it will not be that color. You see, it is automatically not adding the red color, it is only adding it to this part. So it will actually just check, it will first check if it's recipe type, and then in that if it's using FA circle, and then it will do the colors. And here you could add like different colors for each one of them. Right now you could see I have used like same leaf, what is this called, leaf icon for the both of this one. But if you, let's say, add anything different for vegetarian, then you will just need to add that extra stuff around here. And let's do the same for our next two stuff. So let's do add new, let's add choice, radio button, and then call it like recipe level. I'll basically copy this so that we can do it faster. And we will basically use different icons around here. So we are using FA circle, so we will use like some different icons and then do the same step again. So we will basically do the same stuff, that is add the heading and then add it inside of that like this, or rather you can basically just duplicate it, and here you will just go into ACF. Again you will choose recipe level rather than recipe type, because right now we only have recipe type. So if you go into recipe level and then type, let's say, beginner, intermediate, expert, and then we will add like different icons here. I'm not going to do that right now, I'm very sleepy. So right now if I just refresh it, we get the same options. And make sure you use different icon, and that way you don't even, and then whenever you are like doing some changes in here, you just have to select whichever you want. So right now I'll do like intermediate, I'll refresh this one. I'm going to duplicate this stuff, and this time this one should be recipe level, it is intermediate, and then whichever icon you used here, make sure this is different like this. So recipe level, and then this one would be like recipe level, recipe level, and here you choose like any different color that you want for each of those three stuff that you are using. This is not even visible, I'll just make it blue too. And now all you need to do is choose this container, make it go left, and then you add all three stuff like this. And for hours, all you need to do is go here again, we just want text here, we'll type duration, and that's all. And the best part is, for the third part, we don't even need to use CSS. We can basically just duplicate this one. Let's remove all of this stuff. If you want to use it in the same way that we have used everywhere, you could do it, or you could also just use it the way we have added around here for the duration. So like this, because duration, because if we go in here and then let's say choose ACF field and then make it have, well, not recipe level obviously, the duration of the post. So let's just reload, and then here I'll just make this be like 400. And then why is it so big right now in this one? So let's just update for time being. Let's refresh, and you see it adds like a duration option, and here we will add like 2 hours. So we will just type the text. Obviously we cannot have like radio button for it. It doesn't make sense because duration is like so vast options that it doesn't actually make sense to have like radio buttons there. And this one we will basically be turning into duration like this. And because we are using duration, let's just make this one align in the middle like this. Duration, we don't have like different color for it, so we can just use the icon box the way I showed you how you can make it, and that way we will have this option ready. And if I do update, and if I go into my this section, you could see it is automatically added. The only option is issue is that this is showing when we haven't even added duration to it. So if you actually use it with the font awesome with this method, the best part is if you don't add any info there, it will just not show. For example, we haven't added in any info for this one, for which level it is, so it's just not showing. But if you use this method, which is this one, it will still show it even if what you call, even if so, and no data is added in there. So unless you are planning to like never have any duration for some sections, don't use this method. But if you want to have hidden if no data is shown, then use the previous method, which is basically adding like font awesome. So basically just add like the font awesome there. The only issue that even if you do it by that way, the issue is it will still be tough to add the stuff around here. You see, there is no option to add this stuff. So I think it would just be better for you guys to use this method if you want to, and make sure that for duration like this, make sure that you always add the duration there. And the best part is you could also like choose to like, you know, only showcase it for recipe types. So only showcase for recipe types. Then we have so many options here. For example, pages infinite load. Basically what infinite load means is as you scroll down, it will keep on loading the next pages. So let's say you only are showing 6 recipes right now, but as you scroll down, it will keep on loading like 3 more, 3 more, 3 more, as much as you have it. And anything inside of this you can edit it with Elementor. I'm not getting in super detail when it comes to design. I just wanted to showcase the main features and how you will make the site work functionality wise. And the design wise, it's very easy to do. You just have to just go into Elementor and then make the designs, which are, and there's like so many tutorials which explain how you can use Elementor. And I also have like a whole tutorial, 3-hour tutorial explaining the whole Elementor widgets and all. So I think that's all for me. There's also like, I haven't showed like how you can connect buttons and all, but that's like pretty basic. You just click on it and there's a link option. I'll quickly show if you want to like this one, you just add the link there and that's all. So I'm not getting in super details because I just wanted to showcase how you can make this one. And yeah, I think that's all. Thank you.